A beautiful afternoon to you, and many thanks for joining us on the program Held the Living with yours sincerely, Oluije Oikohai. Today on Held the Living, we're looking at cultural and societal attitudes towards family planning, looking at family planning in general, how it affects us when it comes to our society, and of course not leaving out culture and religion. Now to do that with us is the person of Mrs. Idem Blessing. She is the regional coordinator, South Region, Planned Parenthood Federation of Nigeria. Good afternoon, ma'am. Mrs. Idem, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and today we're talking on family planning, how it affects us as women, and also looking at the home in general. Now, first of all, we want to know, what is family planning?
Family planning, according to, is the ability and couples to anticipate and attain the desired number of children and the spacing and timing of their births. But put succinctly, family planning is the consideration of the number of children a couple wish to have and when to have them.
Okay, in all of these, how does culture affect family planning?
Well, culture affects family planning quite often because when you talk about culture, you're looking at the way we take decisions, you're looking at our religion, you're looking at how people manage situations. For instance, in our culture, it is the man who decides when to take decision about birth. And the woman may not have the opportunity, may not have the information that she needs to be able to take that decision. So when it is the man that decides, it becomes really difficult for the woman to make decision about herself or what she wants to do with the number of children she wants to have. Some cultures do not want to hear about family planning. Even that is why the concept has been changed to child spacing in some areas, so that that is what is mostly acceptable to everyone.
Said it all. Now you said child spacing, but first of all, we want to go down into what the Bible has said. The Bible says, two shall become one. Now, you rightly said in our society, the husband is the head and has to make most of the decision. When two has become one, don't you feel that the woman should be able to have her say in decision making as regards family planning? And this has to come from her. This is a person that bears the burden for 9 months. And yes, I feel in the society, a woman has a role to play. I don't know what you have to say about that.
Yes, for the educated, yes. For Christians, yes. But when you look deep into our society, you figure out that there are so many people who do not believe in equality. Our culture still makes us to know that the man is the head of the house. It is only when the couple is educated and they have access to information, and maybe they are Christians. That's when you begin to think of two being one. But looking at it culturally, indeed, it is only the man that decides when the woman should have a child and what number they want to have. So we cannot rule that out completely because the culture still permits the man to take decision. And in fact, not just the man, everyone around him, you know. So the woman's right to take a decision is only available to those who are knowledgeable, who are educated, who have access to information, and who are socially up there too, who can take their own decision. Otherwise, the decision making is squarely for the man in our culture.
All right, now talking about decision making, we know when in courtship you find the man and woman saying, okay, we'll have a certain amount of children, a certain number of children. It could be 2, 3, or 4. Now talking about decision making, do you feel it is right for one, yes, being in a relationship, to have an understanding of the number of children to bear?
The couple should actually be able to decide the number of children they want. They should be able to decide. Because if they are not able to decide, it becomes an issue. But when they are able to decide from day one, they know what number they are looking at. They look at the resources available to them. And then they can now begin to plan towards the number of children they know they will be able to take care of. Otherwise, it will be an issue later in their life.
Okay, now we're looking at attitude as regards family planning. So in a home, what do you feel are these attitudes towards family planning as regards to day-to-day, maybe talking to one another, day-to-day arrangements, and day-to-day, conversation? So what are those things that affect family planning in the home?
Well, family planning should not be affected by anything in the home other than the couple deciding the number of children they want to have. Attitude should not even come into it at all. It's a plan. It's a plan that this is the way we want it to be, all things being equal. When things work out well for them. Like we mentioned earlier, when two of them come together, they become one. So the issue of attitude shouldn't be there, because when you're talking about attitude, you begin to look at behavior, how one is reacting to the other, how one is responding to the other. It shouldn't be part of decision making when it comes to the number of children a couple wants to have. So it is something that the couple should plan from inception of that marriage, of that union. As soon as they get together and they know that, this is the number of children we want to have, the attitude shouldn't come in, except of course something happens midway. Maybe resources are not coming as planned, there's change of job or loss of job, or the income has dwindled like we're experiencing now. Things will begin to change, and because it's a plan, it can be adjusted. The plan can be adjusted to suit the immediate situation of the couple. So the issue of attitude shouldn't be there, because by the time you bring up attitude, then issues will begin to come up negatively, and that may not augur well for the couple.
Being the regional coordinator South-South, what will you say is the current state of family planning in Nigeria?
Yes, according to annual population, according to the survey that was done by National District Health Survey that was done in 2018, only good enough for the country. Although this was done in 2018, I believe that by the next survey, the figure would have improved greatly. So the 12% we're talking about family planning rates is not good enough for the country at all. But we hope that the next survey, which we are waiting the results, has not been published, even though it has been done, there will be an improvement in service uptake for family planning in the nation.
Okay. All right. We're talking about cultural and societal attitudes towards family planning. And of course, Mrs. Idea Blessing has explained and told us the meaning of family planning. Let's take a look at this short clip. We'll be right back.
What does
All right, many thanks for rejoining us on Healthy Living. Now, Mrs. Idea, are there some challenges as regards family planning in Nigeria?
Of course, yes, there are. There are challenges about family planning. The biggest challenge we have is wrong information to the populace about family planning. Some people have been given wrong information about family planning. They have told them what family planning is not. They have told them what diseases and infections, some people, that is what we call myths and misconceptions. You know, people have been given wrong information about family planning. That is one. Two, access to information. Because many people are not educated, they rely on secondary information. They are not able to seek information by themselves. That one is an issue. And another one is poor funding for family planning. But to give it to government now, many states provide family planning services free. And I know that Edo State is one of them. People can access family planning services at the primary health care centers. You can access it at the general hospital. You can access it in Planned Parenthood Federation of Nigeria. In most cases, family planning is highly subsidized. But talking about the challenges, the major problem is access to information and where to even go. Many people do not know where to go for family planning. Getting information is an issue for them.
Right, thank you so much, Mrs. Idie. Now, we want to know, you talked about spacing earlier when we are talking about the discussion on family planning. Now, is there a difference between spacing and family planning, or are they of similar meaning?
Depends on where you are. Depends on where you are located. In the north, for instance, they are more comfortable with child spacing. Whereas in the south, any of the terminology can be used. The northerners are better off with child spacing. Whereas in the south, you can use family planning or child spacing. They are exactly the same thing.
Now, look, talking about Nigeria, you made mention of the fact that family planning is accessible to everyone. Yes. Now, we want to know, when getting these things, are they similar to every lady as far as family planning is concerned? When we talk about contraceptives and all, are they similar to every lady?
Yes, family planning is for the same family planning for everybody, depending on which one an individual is comfortable with. Depending on what you are comfortable with, anybody can have any method, whichever one you prefer. But what we do is when the couple approaches the service provider, an assessment is done and counseling is also provided for them. These are skilled individuals, trained and given updates information on regular basis. They are able to provide information to those who have come to them to obtain services. And they look at them. The only thing that may differ from one person to the other is maybe the medical history of an individual. If the medical history, if there's anything that could make an individual not use a particular method, especially the hormones, then the person can be given, that can be cancelled on another type, another method. Otherwise, all the methods are good for everybody, depending on what the other person has in mind, or the type he or she prefers, or the one the medical history of the woman allows.
Okay, now we've got instances of some persons saying, I went to the hospital and I underwent some kind of, process, and at the end it failed. Now, are there some instances where we find family planning failing?
Yes. Not They are not 100% um, able to protect the individual. Not 100%. There are a few that are, 0 point something percent, 1%, and depending on the user too, particularly the user. If a woman is on pills, for instance, and is expected to take the pill on daily basis, and is the forgetful type, certainly that method is going to fail, because by the time you forget the first day, you forget the second day, you are definitely not a candidate for that method. That's one. Then secondly, those on injectables, you are giving dates on when to present yourself for family planning service. And on the said date given to you, you don't come, you are not here. You are not there at the point where you are supposed to take another method. Definitely you are a candidate for failure. And of course, there are some, the body you may have issues, maybe medical problems or something. Otherwise, if it is given to you by a skilled provider, and you are able to follow through with the dates given to you, you should not it should not actually fail you. Even though we cannot rule it out completely, there could be failed methods. Another thing is, if it's given to you by somebody who is not a trained provider, that is key. If you go to one that is not a trained provider, you are likely going to have a failed method. But if you go to where a skilled person is providing his counseling, properly placed for you, especially the mechanical ones, and you keep to your dates, you should not have it should not fail you for any reason. The only reason why it should fail is the client herself, who may not meet up with the date because of forgetfulness, or you may have traveled, or you think your husband has traveled, he's not going to come, he's not around, I will only come and take my method when he comes. That's what brings about failure.
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Idea. Now, talking about advocacy, how far has family planning reached in our country, Nigeria? Given information concerning family planning, the importance of family planning, and all of that. So, how far has it reached in our country, Nigeria?
Honestly, many
I want to know how far the advocacy for family planning has reached in our country, Nigeria. Talking about, yes, either being in the south, in the southeast, and all of that. So, we want to know how far has this reached in our country, Nigeria, as far as you being the south regional coordinator.
region comprising of our 6 states, family planning is being provided by in all the states, and at government level is free. Honestly, government is providing family planning to individuals free of charge. Yes, that we are very sure. But for individuals that are also on organization like non-governmental organizations, those organizations, the family planning method is also subsidized for them. They only have service charges. That is all that they are charging. Otherwise, the family planning is almost free. You can get family planning method for less than 300 naira for one whole month. You can get family planning method for less than 300 naira for 1 whole month. It's available.
All right, now some persons out there
It's
want to
available.
know
So
quickly now the
government in the
various
whole,
methods of family planning we have.
okay, it's classified into 3 groups. One, you have the barrier methods. Under this barrier method, you talk about condoms, both male and female, the cervical cap, and also we have jellies, conceptors and the others. Those are the barrier methods. Then you have the hormonals. Under the hormonals, we have you have the tablets, that is the pills. You have the injectables, that is the ones they take as injection. We have the one of 6 weeks and another one of 12 weeks. No, 8 weeks and 12 weeks. Then you have the implants. The implants, you have that of 3 years and 5 years. All these are the hormonals. Then you now come to the mechanical method. These mechanical methods are the ones we call the IUDs, that you insert into the womb
Okay.
of the woman. They all prevent pregnancy. Of course, you have the natural ones, the tubal ligation and the vasectomy for the men. They
Okay.
are all available.
All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Idian Blessing. She is the Regional Coordinator, South Region, Planned Parenthood Federation of Nigeria, and we have been talking about family planning, cultural and societal attitudes towards family planning. We'll be seeing you again next week for another exciting time on Healthy Living. Stay good and stay blessed. Bye for now.